Hey, today I'm going to transfer some little tomato seedlings and kind of pot them up. A lot of people don't do it this way, but I like to start my seeds in this little aeroponics gadget. I get a lot better germination rate out of it, and I'll show it to you. And then once they get, some roots, I like to put them in a can of, in a cup, like a cup, and then let them grow out there until I'm ready to transfer them in the garden. But anyway, that's what we're going to do today. Okay, it's transfer day on these tomatoes. It's actually probably transfer day minus 2, 3, or 4 days. I've been trying to get to this and I haven't yet, so today's the day. You can see for scale how big those things are. When they go, they just explode. So let's get them in their own little containers. These are those aluminum cups that I was talking about. I don't know if I can get it to where you can see them or not. I think it's ball. Looks like the same people that make fruit jars. But anyway, let's take my drill and my cups and I just drilled 2 holes in them. And that's it. Anyhow, that's all there is to it. No big deal. I just take them and drill 2 holes for, so the plants can drain. That's it. Sure beats using the red cups. The red plastic cups, they're really only good for 1 year. And I've found out when you leave them out in the sun, they come apart and get brittle. So I've been doing this for a while and they last over and over and over. Okay, here's the little aeroponics deal. I like to germinate my seeds in this. I get a lot higher germination rate out of it. And then I just take these, pull them out gently, and you can see the roots that these things have. I have a lot better results doing it like this. I'll transfer them into, I like these aluminum cups, and fill them with dirt, and I'll show you how I do that. I'll show you how I take these things out. They're pretty fragile, so I'm not really pinching more than I'm just gripping it and then pulling them out. And then as soon as I get enough of the dirt, peat, whatever pot enough, I use it to pull them out with, not the plant, because these little plants will break pretty easy. All right, I've got these aluminum cans. Well, they're not cans, they're cups. They're like solo cups. And I use the aluminums because I use them over and over and over. Used to use plastic, like red plastic cups, and they're fine, and you can reuse them. But after a couple of years of being in the sun, they get brittle and they break, and I don't know. I bought these and I really like them. I guess I like them because they're recyclable, but and they last. Goodness, they last for a long time. Here's our transplant. We're just going to take, I like to let the root go as deep in there as I can get it. So I go ahead and lower him in, and then I get me a little bit of dirt, kind of fill the cup up as I go. Another thing that I like to do, or try to do, these tomatoes are about as maybe vulnerable as they can be. They're not very old. They've been in that hydroponics seed starting deal their whole life, so they're fragile, I guess is the way to say that. So I like to do this on a cloudy day. They just seem to these things, when they're this young and they've been grown in that water, they'll wilt. Man, they'll just wilt almost by looking at them. So I try to figure out a good cloudy day like today, and that's usually when I have the best luck rooting them. All right, we'll do one more of these and I'll show you. Like I said, get your roots pulled out so they'll have something in the bottom. I just fill it full of dirt real gently. Try not to hurt the plant, try not to touch the plant. Just spread that dirt around them. Maybe pack it a little bit towards the bottom. You can kind of see how it starts to look. You just fill dirt in and around the roots. And I just take my fingers and gently work around, not touching the root ball, just kind of go around and around it, pack that in. And that's all there is to it. That gets them in the dirt. The root, you saw how long the root is, but the root's pretty much in that whole column of the cup. So there you go, one more. These go pretty fast. There's not a lot of, it's not really a way to mess this up. Just as long as you don't, as long as you don't break them, as long as you treat them a little bit gingerly. You see how the roots are on that. They just, it's amazing how much root they have for just that little bitty plant. We've been saving these seeds for, I don't know, I've been saving them probably since 2000 and probably since about 2000. And we like the tomatoes. There's a long story, and I'll do a whole thing about the story on these tomatoes, but I know everybody likes to plant heirlooms, and I do too. And these are those heirlooms, but I save these seeds every year and go through this process, and we have good tomatoes. We like the tomatoes a lot, but I do kind of like it that it's, over and over every year there's some consistency to it. It's the same plants, same seeds, same process. That's why I like the heirloom. All right, I've got some of these potted up. I like 6, and I was going to show you that I drowned them. I mean, not literally, but I really soaked them really, really good. Those roots and the plant is used to being in that hydroponics seed starter, and they've been wet ever since they germinated. So I've tried this a few times, and I've messed them up at this stage before, because I would try to I would try to pot up all of them at once. And if you're going to do 15 or 20, there's some time between, this stage and getting them wet and getting them settled in. And they wilted pretty hard. They didn't die, but they shocked. And I find if I just do a few at a time, like 6, and get them really good and keep them hydrated, they do fine. They really don't suffer any from being moved, from being transplanted into cups. So, like I said, I'm not an expert. Everybody's got their own way they do stuff. This is just the way I've done it for a long, long time, and it works really well. All right. The other thing that I can't stress enough is the sky. If I was doing this in the greenhouse or on the patio in the blazing sun, these would have wilted. They would have wilted completely. So I try to pick a day when I can get them and do all this in it's not shade, but I'd call this maybe like dappled sun. But it's anything you can do in those transfer times when you're transferring plants from like seeds to this and then this, when we ultimately put them in the garden. Any amount of time that you can have them, I guess, protected, you have a better outcome. So I picked today specifically because of the sun, because it's shady today. And here they are finished. And I watered them really good. A lot of times on that first watering, you soak them because you want all them little air bubbles to come out of the ground so the roots are not, in an air pocket, I guess we'll say. But we'll let them sit. Again, the clouds were the deal for doing this today. If it had been bright, sunny, we'd have either done this inside, which I hate to do because sometimes it makes a mess, or we would have, pull the shade cloths out so that the direct sun doesn't hit them. Either way, this year's Belgiums are in the cups. Also on the other side of the greenhouse, you can see all of the tomato plants. They're getting what I'd call leggy. We'll do a video here pretty quick about transplanting into the garden, but I wanted to show them to you real quick while we were checking that lettuce. They did fantastic this year. I know this video was about transferring plants, but I wanted to just show you a picture of what the tomatoes look like and kind of what they grow into. Here they are. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you would, take a second to hit the subscribe button for us. It helps us a lot. I appreciate it.